Hey everybody, it's Beth Gaff with the Peabody Public Library. Welcome back to our streamed channel and welcome back to a new class. I'm really excited about today's lesson, and I'm really thinking that everybody can benefit from the class today. We are a Grow with Google partner, and I'm really excited to be able to bring you what Google has to offer us. So without further ado, I don't want to keep us waiting. Let's check out some of those online scams and let's see what we can do about getting you protected.
Well, hello there. My name is Beth Gaff, and I am the Systems Manager, Administrator, Technology Trainer, and Robotics Instructor here at the Peabody Public Library. We are also a partner with Grow with Google. They have amazing different kinds of classes out there to help you get along on your computers, as well as helping you protect yourself while you're on those computers. And today's class is one of those protecting yourself sessions. So in this session, we're going to talk about protecting yourself from online scammers or scams. So you're going to learn to identify and protect yourself and your personal information from online scammers. In this workshop, you'll learn about 3 real-life online scams and familiarize yourself with some of the techniques scammers commonly use to access sensitive information. In this session, I'm also going to show you how to understand what online scams are, being able to identify scam warning signs, learn basic practices for keeping info safe, and a way to open and take notes in Google Docs so you don't lose out on any of that information. So, hello everyone and welcome to our workshop today, Protecting Yourself from Online Scams. So in this workshop, we're going to talk about several ways that scammers try to get your personal information and money from people online. We'll go over the most common types of scams and give you tools to help you keep yourself, your personal information, and your money safe. So let's get started. So here's our agenda for today. We're going to start by learning how to open a new document to use for taking notes. So throughout our session today, you'll be able to practice your typing skills as you take notes on the scams we explore. Then we'll talk about what online scams are and what scammers are looking for. We're also going to cover the different ways you can protect your information. Then we'll look at examples of common scams you might encounter. And then we're going to review some of those signs of scams so you'll be able to stay alert and avoid scammers. So on this area, we're just going to talk a little bit about online scams. And maybe you even have a personal story that would go along with some of this. So what have you heard about online scams? Have you or someone you know been approached online by a person or business you suspected was actually running a scam? So this is something that you're definitely going to want to think about as we go on with class today. But first, I want you to be able to get on a Google Doc or a Google document so you're able to write or type down any thoughts or observations that you have as we're going on today. If you have a Google account already, then you can just sign in and you'll see that sign in. So you can just go to Google just like it is here on the screen. And at the top right, you'll press on sign in. If you don't have an account, then you would need to create one. And right down here is where you would create your account, or you would sign into the account you have. Now, what I mean by that is more than likely it's some type of a Gmail account. So whatever it is at gmail.com. So you're going to sign into your Google account. And as you can see here, someone is signing into their Google account. Make sure you've got your credentials, so you're going to need that password to get yourself in. So once you're actually in, now we're going to create a Google document. So if you need to pause this video, go away from it and come back so you can get yourself signed into Google, please do so. We're going to move on to creating a Google document now. So you're going to create a Google Documents app, and that's going to be up here where you can click on these items here. Oops. And you can see where Documents is. So you can just click on the Documents. Now we're going to click on creating a new blank document. Now again, this is only for those people that would like to keep notes while we're going today on their computer, and you'd be able to type this stuff out, or you can just go back and use regular paper. So you'd select a blank document. Up in the left-hand corner, you're going to want to make sure to name that document. And we're going to call today's class Avoid Online Scams. And you can see how it is coming up there for you. Yep, so this is what it would actually look like. This is a sample of what it's going to look like. So you're actually able to go on there and make your own notes. Okay, so what are online scams? So let's start by defining the word scam. So a scam is a deliberate attempt to cheat someone out of money or personal information. Scams are nothing new. People have been finding ways to take advantage of others for a very, very long time. But the rise of the internet and social media has now made it easier. Since you can communicate with just about anyone online, people who want to commit scammers, can use the internet to quickly and easily find and contact anyone with online presence. Scammers can work anonymously by building websites, email addresses, or fake social media profiles, which can make it difficult or impossible to track them down. So the goal of this session today isn't to make you distrustful of people who you meet online. But one of the great things about the internet is the way it allows us to connect with others. But it is still important to know how to spot potential scams so you can keep yourself and your personal information safe. So now that we know what a scam is, let's talk a little bit about what scammers want from people they contact on the internet. Scammers are generally looking for two things. They're looking for money, and they're looking for personal information. The money that scammers are looking for can come in various forms, including bank payments, wire transfers, credit or debit card payments, or even gift cards. They may try to get personal information that can help them access your bank account, social media accounts, or other personal accounts online. This information would include usernames and passwords for websites and social media accounts, your social security number, bank account information. They can use this information to steal your identity, contact your friends and family, or gain access to your accounts and even to your devices. Scammers can also make money by selling your personal information to a third party. The third party can use your personal information for their own purposes. So we've obviously heard of identity theft and things along those lines. There are also types of personal information that may seem less confidential than passwords, but are still important to keep private for the sake of your online security. If you log into an online bank account for extra security, you might be asked questions like, what's your mother's maiden name? Or what is the name of your first pet? These security questions are designed to be easy for you to remember and hard for someone else to guess. Be wary of anyone online who tries to get that type of information from you. If you use social media, you've likely come across quizzes that claim to figure out things about your personality, maybe even your fortune. Or maybe you've been asked to answer questions like, what would your name be if you were a character in a popular TV show? These seemingly harmless quizzes are often scams designed to get the answers to those hard-to-guess security questions protecting your accounts online. So you want to avoid participating in online quizzes that encourage you to share this kind of information. These are just a few examples of some of those security questions that you may have had to fill out for an account or two. The good news is you can outsmart scammers by learning the signs of a potential scam and by always protecting your personal information online. We're going to spend the rest of this session discussing some frequently attempted scams so you'll know how to recognize them and protect yourself. So let's take a look at a few different examples of scams you might encounter online. After you see each example, you'll have the chance to type your thoughts and observations into your Google document. So you could also do that just by pausing me and so you'd be able to pause me and go in there and so forth. Okay, so let's take a look at, at some of this. Okay, so here is our first one. Let's take a few minutes to look at this. So this is saying, Dear Joe, your Citibank account has been compromised. Secure your account immediately by providing us with your login ID, password, and social security number. For your convenience, click on the link below to submit your information. Thank you for your cooperation. Big Citibank. All right, let's just kind of take a few minutes and think about this for a minute. And what are some red flags that you see that would have to do with being a scamming email? You can write these down. You can put them in your document. You can always respond in the comments on this class as well. But there are some red flags here. So this email is an example of a type of a scam called phishing. Phishing is spelled with a PH, not with an F. So it's not actually phishing. However, the rod is very appropriate because they are trying to bait and hook you and reel you in. This is when a scammer impersonates a company, a person, in order to trick someone into giving up their valuable personal information. Usually phishing takes place through emails, internet ads, or copies of websites that look similar to the ones that you already use. For example, you could receive an email from your bank, a store where you shop, or an online payment processor stating that there's problems with your account and they need your login information in order to fix it. Oops, let me go back. Since this email states that you need to act immediately, it creates a sense of urgency to keep you to send your information quickly. So whenever you see this, typically people use this exclamation point just as a high priority on emails. But if it's a scammer, they may use it just because they want you to think it's an important thing. Urgency is a tool that scammers use a lot. They want you to respond right now. Other scams may use urgency by telling you that an offer is only available for a limited time or someone is in need of immediate help. Urgency can also be used to make you feel excited or concerned so that you act on emotion. The real purpose of urgency in a scam is to get you to finish a transaction or send information before you stop to think it through or talk it over with anyone. If you think a situation is urgent, you are far more likely to send personal information or money than you would in an everyday situation. So on urgency, they play on your emotions. You know, if you don't get it now, it's going fast. We need you to respond quickly. We need your account information. We need all this stuff so we can get this process going for you. Scams often contain links or forms to fill out. There may also be attachments to open. Links and attachments can be sent in emails, via social media messaging, or even via texts. Links can be used to correct information about you, upload dangerous material to your device, or email your contacts. Likewise, scammers use forms to collect your information. Some scams encourage people to open attachments, which can upload a virus or other harmful programming to your computer or device. If you're not sure whether something is a scam, do not click links, fill out any forms, or open attachments from the questionable source. It's always better to be cautious than to accidentally give away your personal information or put your device at risk. So just keep that in mind. Links and attachments, emails you're not familiar with, things along those lines. Legitimate businesses will never ask you for your login information or other personal details through email. If a legitimate business needs you to log into your account, they will instruct you to open their website or app, sign in, and send information securely. If you receive a questionable email from a bank or other business where you have an account, you can call the business directly to ask about it. If you need to visit the business website, type their web address into your browser or search for it online rather than clicking any link provided in suspicious communication. Scammers may also use threats or a threatening tone to get money or information. Threats can scare people into giving their personal information or a payment before they realize they're being scammed. Threats can make people think they will lose something important, like housing or access to their computer. People can also be threatened with humiliation. For example, scammers might send an email claiming they have hacked your device and have embarrassing footage of you. Sometimes they will include an old password in the email to prove they are serious. Then they will demand that you send money in order to stop them from distributing the footage. If you receive a communication like this, it is best to not reply to the email or respond in any way. So, now let's take a look at a new scam. And I want you to be thinking about what you would do if you saw something like this. So, how do you respond to phishing like we talked about earlier? Sorry, I got ahead of myself. If you receive an email you suspect is phishing, you have the following options. If you know it's a fake email, you can just ignore it. If the email claims to be from an organization you are involved with or someone you know, reach out to them directly. Do not respond to the email, but contact them using a known email address. Another good option is to call in to speak to someone over the phone. Do not click on any links or open any attachments. Finally, if you know an email is phishing, you have the option of reporting it. So, ignore it, do not respond, do not click on any links or any attachments, and report it. Okay, so if you want to report phishing, this is how you would go about it. You're going to open the phishing email, and at the top right of the email, you will see an icon that looks like 3 vertical dots. That's the More menu. Sometimes those dots are actually lines. So So you're going to open the more by clicking it. And down there, you're going to click on Report Phishing. So the image on the screen shows an open email from the state's Housing Council with the title, Urgent, Form Needed. The email contains a message asking the recipient for their social security number, full name, and address. The menu with 3 vertical dots is open, and the report phishing option is circled. If you use an email account from a different provider, you can search online for information on how to report phishing for that account. All right, now we're ready to take a look at a new scam. Imagine if you came across an advertisement on a job site that looked like this. 5 to 10,000 per day, work from home, choose your own schedule, make money as an undercover shopper, 15 hours a week, 80,000 plus bonuses, no interview necessary. So after you read that post, decide if the email address listed. Sorry, let me start that over. After you read the posting, you decide to email the address listed. You hear back right away. Susan, the recruiter, says you'll be able to start right away after you pay for the training session. So what did you notice about that? About this? What did you notice that are some not so great things? Okay, well, I'm going to say the first thing is if you're looking at something that says $5,000 to $10,000 per day, that should be a red flag right there. How many jobs out there do you really know are going to give you, $5,000 to $10,000 a day to work from home even? Okay. You definitely, first thing I see is typos. The word shopper has way too many P's in it. Necessary obviously is spelled incorrectly. And this is an extremely part-time job for you to be able to work to make 5,000 to 10,000 per day. So employment scams often claim to offer jobs that seem too good to be true. They may state that they require few hours and pay very well. Often, scammers will claim you'll be able to earn lots of money by doing something easy from home, like online shopping or playing video games. Or you may respond to a job posting you found on a website and find that the employer wants to hire you without an interview or a background check. The scam may start as soon as you apply for the job, when scammers ask you for your personal information to process the application. Or it might start after they claim to have hired you, when they ask for your bank account information to process your payment. One sign of an employment scam is if you are asked to pay for anything up front. You may be told that in order to start the job, you have to pay for training, or pay fees for software, or credit report, or have to have your resume reviewed. An honest employer will never ask you to pay money or to provide your credit card information in order to give you a job. Spotting employment scams can be difficult because legitimate employers may also ask for personal information. They usually require your social security number and may also ask for your bank information if you decide to set up direct deposit. However, do not provide that information unless you are certain that the job is legitimate and not a scam. The saying, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is, definitely applies here. Scammers often make offers that are too good to be true. This tactic works in the same way as creating a sense of urgency. You get excited, so you stop to think before you act by providing personal information. The ad we looked at is offering a job with high pay that only requires 15 hours of work a week and no interview is required. Scams may offer you an opportunity to make a lot of money with almost no effort. They may pose as an enthusiastic recruiter offering you an amazing, easy, and profitable job. So, those are some signs to be looking for if it sounds too good to be true. The fact that the recruiter asks for payment up front is a red flag. No legitimate job should require you to pay for training or to complete a credit check in order to begin. You also should not be required to provide personal information like your address, social security number, or bank account information until you've been offered the job and can verify that the company and the role are both legit and trustworthy. One possible sign of a scam is seeing words misspelled, also known as typos, in a job listing, email, or ad. If you notice a lot of grammar and spelling mistakes, a scammer may have created the content that you're viewing. It is possible for legitimate communications from companies to contain mistakes or errors, but most will have someone proofread their work carefully, so it's not common. Another potential sign of a scam is a mistake in the design elements of a communication. If a scammer is impersonating an actual company, a company's logo or other related images may not look right. For example, the color or sizing of the logo may look slightly different. However, if scammers are very careful, they can make their materials look convincing. If a communication is error-free and looks right, but is otherwise suspicious, you should not trust that it's a legitimate company. If you had seen this ad and received an email from this employer asking you to pay for training, what would you do? What would your thought be? How would you respond to that? You can put that in your document, or you can write it down or leave it in comments for me. You can most definitely pause this video at this time and get those written down for yourself. So, how to avoid employment scams. If you see a job advertised online that appears too good to be true, verify it with an internet search. Search for the name of the company, the job title, even the name of the contact you've been in communication with. You can also type in the company's name and the word scam into an internet search to see if others have experienced similar scams. Don't pay for any training or other job associated costs ahead of time. Don't give away your personal information until you have managed to verify that the job is legitimate. To research a suspicious job offer or company, here are the steps you could take. Type in google.com into your browser, then press enter on your keyboard. This will take you to Google search page. The image on the screen shows the words google.com typed in the address bar. On google.com, I'm having a hard time talking. On google.com, you can see the search bar in the center of the page. The search bar is the image circled. This is where you'll type your search into Google. Click on the search bar next to the magnifying glass and type the words you want to search for. Oops. In this case, you should do separate searches for this job and the company name. After you type in the first search word, click enter or return on your keyboard. Search the name of the company, job title, and word scam. If a company is legit, they should have a professional looking website. If you are being scammed, you may find information about the scam online. Now, let's take a look at one more type of scam. You connect with a person on social media who seems like a great match. The relationship progresses quickly as you have many common interests and experiences. You invite them out for a date several times, but they're never able to meet you in person. You get to know each other through chatting and texts. After a week or two, the person writes you an urgent message. They are having a medical emergency and they need you to send them money to help pay for their medical bills. Okay, so earlier in this class, I talked to you about online scammers who often use people's emotions against them. This is particularly true of dating and romance scams. According to the Federal Trade Commission, Americans lost $304 million to romance scammers in 2020. That's up about 50% over 2019. Dating and romance scams can be initiated online through social media or on dating apps and websites. For their profile pictures, romance scammers often use photos they find online from actual dating profiles or stock photographs. It's pretty simple just to go into Google, type in what you're looking for, and click images, and you're going to get a lot of images in regards to what you've typed in. Some relationships tend to progress quickly without any face-to-face interaction. When someone asks to meet in person, a last-minute emergency will often arise to prevent that from happening, or the scammer will claim to live too far away to visit or have some other issue that keeps them from traveling. The scammer may then soon claim to have a financial emergency and ask you for a payment, gift card, or some other form of financial assistance. If the scammer receives payment, the requests continue and they will continue over time. So it may start out as little things that will end up progressing into larger things. So just take a few minutes to type out your thoughts of that particular scam on your Google Doc. Write it down, pause me, and come back to me. So what did you notice about that dating type platform? What did you notice about that? So there's definitely warning signs. The scam uses some tactics we've already covered. It often starts with someone who seems too good to be true. Scammers can be experts at telling you what you want to hear. They may even find pictures of people online and claim that they are those pictures of those people. Next up is their urgency. So that's too good to be true. This person you've suddenly grown close with has a sudden emergency and they need your help now. Once you've sent money, it's likely that a scammer will keep finding new urgent reasons to ask you for more money. I watch a lot of Dr. Phil from time to time, and I've actually seen a lot of programs that he has where family members are concerned about other family members that they've met online that are just sending thousands and thousands of dollars overseas to these people. So finally, there's a request for payment. There are a lot of different ways romance scammers ask for money. They may ask for money transfer or wires or even gift cards to help them cover expenses. So, if you'd become involved with someone romantically online and were starting to wonder if they might be a romance scammer, what would you do to find out? So you can pause me, minimize me, stop me, so you can put this into your document or write this down. But what would you do if there's a potential for a romance scammer there? First, you should take your time getting to know someone online before you get serious about a relationship. Okay, not everybody on the other end of that computer is who they claim to be. Insist on meeting in person, safely and in public, early in the relationship. Don't send them money, gift cards, or other forms of financial support. Listen to friends and family who express concerns about your online relationship. When you start talking to someone online, ask for more photos. If the person you're communicating with is a scammer, They may be using images they copied from someone else's social media account or someone else on the internet. To help prove that they are the person they claim to be, you can even ask them to take a photo with that day's newspaper or doing something specific like touching their nose. This type of photo would be hard to fake or copy from the internet. If they can't send you a photo like this, it's likely they are not the person that they say that they are. So do your research, guys, okay? It's really important all the way up to this point. Everything we've talked about, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Them wanting you to be urgent about things, there's a problem with that. And wanting to get your payment, as well as trying to get a romance involved with somebody that you don't even know. They may not even be that person. You just want to research what you're doing. You can also do a reverse image search to learn more about a photo. So you can start by typing images.google.com, and you can see that up in the corner, into your web browser, and press enter on your keyboard. Click the camera icon. Oops. Click the camera icon. I do apologize. To search by image. Then click the tab to upload an image. The image on the screen shows the Google Images homepage with the camera icon circled. Click Choose File or Browse depending on your browser to find your photo file. Click Open or choose it from the open photo. The results will show a possible related search and visually similar images. If you see the same photo somewhere in the results, click to open it to see where the photo may have come from. Though this might not work for every photo, based on the results, you should be able to figure out if a photo is authentic or not. Now that we've gone through different examples of scams, let's recap some of the sign potential scams that we've covered. We're going to start with too good to be true. Remember, scammers want you to be too excited about an offer, a person, or an opportunity to think clearly. Next, there's urgency. If something has to happen immediately, or if scammers want you to believe there will be repercussions if you don't act right away, you're more than likely to make a decision without taking time to think it through. Links and attachments are some of the quickest ways to scam someone. By clicking on a link or an attachment, you can put your device and information at risk. Then there's requests for personal information. Remember, scammers can use your personal info to gain access to your bank, social media accounts, or even steal your identity. Legitimate companies will never ask you for your bank account information or your passwords or PIN number. A request for payment is one of the clearest signs a scam is underway. Scammers may ask you for money transfers, gift cards, or other types of payment to help them cover expenses. When you see typos like spelling errors in a communication, it may have come from a suspicious source. Threats can cause you worry that you'll get in trouble. They are designed to make you take action because you're afraid of losing someone, something, or being embarrassed. Now you're familiar with a few different online scams and know how to spot common signs of scam. Keep in mind that many of these signs also apply to other kinds of scams using different forms of communication. For example, scammers use similar tactics to scam people over the phone or via text. You can also use your notes as a reference to remind yourself of what you learned today. Your Google Doc is saved automatically. You can always open it again and read your notes or add more notes in the future about scams. From Google.com, open the Google Apps menu in the upper right-hand corner. Select Drive. click on the icon to select it. The image on the screen shows the Google homepage with the apps menu open and the Drive app circled. Depending on how your drive is organized, you can scroll to find it or click Recent to open recent items added to your drive. Or you can search for it by using the title of your document. Find the doc created during this class today. Click on it to open it. So let's do a recap of today's class. Today we covered a lot of information about scams and talked about strategies you can use to keep your personal information safe. You set up a Google Doc and learned to take notes on the scams you learned about. The document you created will save automatically so you can return to it at any time. We talked about what online scams are and discussed the two main things that scammers are looking for people online, which was money and personal information. We discussed ways you can protect your money and information from scammers. We went through 3 examples of scams: an email phishing scam, a job scam, and an online romance scam. And finally, we reviewed the major warning signs of scams. While we did not cover every type of scam today, being able to recognize the signs will help you to identify other types as well. The goal of this class is not to make you afraid of using the internet. Instead, the goal is to provide you with valuable information about scams. If you keep this information in mind as you use the internet, you'll be able to explore freely while keeping your money and personal information safe. Hey, thank you so much for attending our class today. I hope you'll use what you learned today to keep yourself and your information safe online. This was brought to you by Grow with Google, our Google partner. And I can't wait for some of the other classes that we're going to be able to do. So thanks again, you guys. See you in the next class. Bye.